Hey guys, so I want to make a video about a potential NLomien mule that might be profitable. I know in regular servers, intense power crystals aren't worth very much, so my rationale for making this mule was to kind of find out if it was still worth making an NLomien mule. For me, I didn't invest too much into this guy. So what I spent specifically for this character is this staff, which I kind of worked on in a previous event with the clean slate scrolls they give out for free in the shop. Yeah, and then I also bought the arcane Umbra Mace shoulder so that I can get a two-set item effect. And I also worked on the gold forest emblem here. Yeah, the VPOC got two lines of magic attack there, and everything else that I have was stuff I already had for a couple of years now, which is a full set mage pencilier, tradable gear, and this actually puts me at 180% equipment drop rate. And I also want to go over the familiars that I have on this guy. I actually spent not too long farming for familiars or leveling up familiars, because in rec servers, familiars are very cheap. I mean, back then it was very cheap. Now it's even cheaper. I'd say they're basically free, which with each of these cards being around 20 to 30,000 mesos. And yeah, you heard it right. It's 30,000 mesos. Not 300,000, not 3 mil, it's 30,000, which is like 5 or 6 bags of mesos. So yeah, it's crazy cheap. So I got 30% boss damage on this, and then 20% boss damage on this, as well as a large item drop familiar here. For this to be an NLomien mule, without much hassle, I only unlocked one guild skill here to level 15. This other one was kind of like the extra points I got. But yeah, for boss mules for NLomien, I was thinking I would just use this wealth potion, guild blessing, wizard elixir. Okay, actually probably not this. And then the MPE potions. And I wanted to do all the bosses up to NLomien. And that's kind of the cutoff here. I think anybody who's done weekly bosses or created weekly bossing meals understand that that's kind of the cutoff for being efficient. Past that, it becomes a lot less efficient to gear up mules for doing weekly bosses, because Damien Lotus have around like 1.5 trillion HP. Guardian Angel Slime has like 5.5, so that's kind of a massive jump. That's like 3.5 times more HP. And then Easy Lucid, Easy Will, same story. These guys have 12 trillion HP. Even with the Arcane Force giving you a 1.5x HP, I mean damage multiplier, I say it's still around 8,000 effective HP that they have. So yeah, that's kind of the rationale for going out to and Lotus. And I'm gonna just go ahead and do the bosses, and I'll be right back. Oh, I also wanted to talk about the three pets that I had. So these pets I originally had on my Kana mules, and I this was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago when I completed the pet items. I think I used the pet X scrolls um for this one, Sprout Sleeve. So that's why it has 54 magic attack. So that's giving me quite a lot of damage. Yeah, and these are my stats, of course. And for the nodes, I maxed out the two tri nodes that I have, which is the this these two, which is the strike, sneak attack, and peck, is the main tri node for Lin, and then we got the secondary tri node here, as well as having blink, a couple of these fifth job skills being maxed. What I prioritized was getting the mana overload to level 30, um, and I think decent holy symbol to 30 to get that drop rate. And for this NLomien boss mule, and specifically this account, I didn't do any of the event stuff. So this right here is as much damage as we're gonna get while avoiding um, doing other things that are only temporary buffs. So the stuff that I'm using, you can reliably get. Um, so reliably use every time you have NLomien Mules, which is a smell wealth acquisition potion, at least for reg servers. The same RAM elixir, the MPE potions, and the grandma's guild buff here, and the familiar buff. So that's everything that we're gonna use as consumables. And then we're just gonna run down these bosses as fast as possible, and I'll be right back. Okay, we got pretty lucky and got a popularis mark. This almost never happens. Anyways. Okay, so I did all the bosses. Judging by how where my Sayram's elixir is, I think it took us less than 10 minutes to complete all those weekly bosses that I had on here, which is 12 bosses, 12 bosses. And selling all of the intense power crystals, let's put all this here. Selling all the intense power crystals, 248 million mesos, and we also got these other things. So this is why this was the small things that we get from weekly bosses if we maxed out drop rate. Of course, like if we have pretty good drop rate, these things will drop a lot more. I created this NLomien Mule in hopes to answer the question of, is it efficient with the intense power crystals and the little additional cubes and XP coupon voucher honor medals that we get? Uh, does it make sense to have NLomien Mules? And I'm not too sure. Because three solid cubes, I'd say if we consider each solid cube in GMS Bera to be around 65 mil, which I would place them at as a reasonable price, that's around 200 million mesos. And then hard cubes, I would probably put them at 6 mil, so this is like 30 mil here. So 230, and then this is like 2 mil, and this is like 1 mil each. So there's 6, so there's 20, 20 here. This is like 5 right now, 5 mil. 25 mil right here. 225 mil right there. And then 255 mil right here. 255 mil with the 248 mil. It would be 500 mil for 10 minutes that I took to clear the bosses, as well as the 2 minutes that it would take me to offload all of my equipment and then transfer them back into the storage. And we also get reward points for doing these weekly bosses, of course. Also, this is the Legion I have. I have 9,200 Legion level. This gives me enough to max out my crit damage, my ignore defense, and boss damage, and a little bit in int. And okay, and I also wanted to go over my link skills that I had. I had just your basic damage link skills. So the question is, it's worth it to have an NLomien Mule in GMS Bera? I would say so if you have, if you are patient enough and if you already have tradable gear. If you do not have tradable gear and you have to create gear, um, uh, I think what people do is, like even in reg, like as well as reboot, they go for CRA gear and for reg, probably arcane Umbra weapon because it's like 200 mil, which is definitely worth it for the amount of damage it gives. The equivalent would be CRA, maybe Absos for the damage I'm outputting. But as you can see, this is by no means a video showing a reasonable NLomien Mule. This is by no means a reasonable NLomien Mule. This is a completely maxed out NLomien Mule as with the gears I have been building up for the past 4 or 5 years. And yeah, 4 or 5 years. Like if you've been playing in Reg for 4 or 5 years, like this is the kind of gear you'd kind of expect. But given the current quote unquote meta and what people have been considering meta for meso making as a free to play is getting your characters to C10A. I guess that's more relevant now, but in the past, like I think people cared a lot more about pushing one character, but I think the reboot mentality of spreading out your income sources from several different characters, like they have many people have like multiple, like even up to like 12, 16 weekly bossing meals in reboot to get that weekly income from the intense power crystals. And that's also the sort of mentality I had when I created this account initially, uh, which is which is I have 24 kanas on this account, and this was a account. This was like a project account for me to understand how to make mesos in this game. It took me several years to get to this point. So if you're thinking about getting to this level, um, it's gonna take you several years, and it might be a little bit harder to get exactly the kind of pieces that I have right now because I had the VIP necklaces when they were a lot cheaper, and then I got this well, I'm not using this, but like two line drops are from equality cubes. Um, there's been a lot of cubes from events that were thrown onto this set. I mean, I like several events, like 10, like 12 events of like cubes thrown onto this gear. So if you are not at this level, I would say NLomien mules are not worth it. Um, so this video is pretty irrelevant to a lot of people. I just want to showcase the very tippity top of meso making methods for reg server, and this is one of them. But it's not viable for the majority of people who need this kind of like meso like information on how to make mesos. Because when you get to this point, like you don't need a guide. You pretty much know what you're doing in Rec server. You log in and then you go on your bossing mules. You farm daily cubes like Sean Bob. Sean Bob is a YouTube uh content creator who focused on GMS reboot, I mean GMS Bera, and then his well-known series was free to play into free to play player who is trying to make mesos in Bera, and he has, in my opinion, very successfully shown like how to reasonably make mesos consistently. And for people who have been playing in reg servers who are free to play, I think a lot of them choose to go to reboot, and if they do not, and if you are a reg server and you are struggling for mesos, what I would advise you to do is give reboot a shot. Uh, that's I know that's kind of weird to say, from someone who is making a video about GMS reg servers. Um, I just want to state reg servers are very, very tough. It's like hard mode. The most recent change and addition to this game has made reg servers feel incredibly good in some aspects, which is the Hexa Matrix. When we got Hexa Matrix, I think interactive server players complained a lot less about the difference between them and Reboot, if there were even complaints, because we had Frenzy service, and that just having Frenzy service, it makes interactive comparable, like from middle to end game. But yeah, this video isn't about reboot versus reg. This is just to showcase this this bossing mule I had as a project.